How's it going? So, super quick video about why you cannot, like, some people think that they can, oh, I'm just not gonna rage at my teammates or whatever, League of Legends, all this shit, right? You have to understand that humans are not wired to not feel angry when they lose control. Like, generally speaking, like, if you want to understand why people get angry, so red, I just threw it out. I drew it out already, right? Red are your negative emotion: anger, frustration, pain. Well, think about all the negative emotions, right? They have a source. The source is blame. Every time you will notice that when you get angry, you start to use the word they a lot, and that they indicates to you that you have lost the control. Generally speaking, the root cause of all of your negative emotions, most of the time, is loss of control. So when you feel that you can no longer control the situation, you start to get angry and frustrated. Like, why do people flame? Because they don't control the outcome. They don't control the behavior of what other players do in the game. The only way is realistically is just to quit League. Like, I'm not talking about, like, why am I pushing you into one-on-one? Because in one-on-one you have full control over the outcome. You pick the champion, you pick you have full control over how you play, what items you build, and the other guy is the same, right? If he chooses to do bullshit, you don't care, you're just gonna win. But where you get frustrated is that you are playing well. Let's say you in your lane, you win your lane, right? Your teammates are feeding, and then enemy jungler comes in and just starts messing around with you. It becomes like 2v1 lane. So you see, like, you just lost control over the game. Your teammates are feeding, right? You are slowly bleeding. People say, oh, it's bleeding. And there is absolutely nothing you can do, because in League it's not the type of game where you can 1v5, realistically. I already made bazillion videos on this. Like, you can't dodge the damage in League of Legends. There's no way to dodge Nautilus R. He just presses point click on you, you're gonna get 100% hit by it. There's no way to dodge exhaust. Like, in a lot of games where you can 1v5, like shooting games for example, you can abuse positioning, map awareness, your reflexes, your ability to headshot and duck. So you see, all of that creates ability for you to like remove an enemy from the team, from the map, without expending resources. Whereas in League that's not possible, because there's crowd control, for example, right? Because crowd control effectively is honestly, to be honest with you, crowd control is the biggest bullshit that ever invented in gaming altogether, because it's so unskilled. It allows a person with a zero skill to shut down a person with a high skill with the press of a button. You have to understand, it's a little bit the ability is a little bit too overpowered, right? Because you're not gonna escape Nautilus with let's say, I don't know, let's say 3 items, CDR build. You're playing Riven, or you're playing some Fiora or whatever, checked. You're just not gonna escape. He's gonna point and click, and he's just gonna shut you down. And that could be a 5-year-old kid just smashing his hand into the keyboard, and here you are trying to do something. So you're gonna get very, very angry, because at that point in time, you 100% rely on other people to do something, because you physically cannot move. And that is where frustration and anger and happens, because, I mean, your 0-11 Ezreal with boots, I mean, what is it gonna do? It's gonna do 100 damage? Like, seriously. Your mid lane Yasuo already died, probably, right? And your jungler is like Graves, and because well, let's say I'm playing Tryndamere, the entire enemy team is stacking armor, so your Graves, not only are you not doing any damage, your Graves is not doing any damage either. So you're literally reliant on Ezreal to do his magic damage, and he's 0-6, so that's not gonna happen. And your mid lane is Ari. Ari is not a high damage dealer, right? Unless she's like giga fed, and she's like, I don't know. Ari as a champion is a shit champ. Honestly, it's because her cooldowns is too long. She's kind of like a shitty version of LeBlanc. LeBlanc can just make somebody disappear very quickly, and she has very efficient way of doing this. But like Ari is just a shit version. I don't even know what to think about Ari. She's just like she doesn't really do a lot of damage. She's very like when I play against one-on-one against Ari, I literally play with no items. She's just such a bad champ, right? So you see, like you don't decide first how Ari is playing, and two, picking Ari is a like I mean why not Victor, for example? Victor freaking melts shit. He's so strong. Brand, like as a support, for example. Brand just does percentage damage. There's no way to itemize against this champ. But no, you have Shockwave support. Do you know what I'm saying? Again, you have no control over the shit. You get crowd control to death. And you are legitimately can flame your teammates because you are right in the situation. And all this anger starts happening, and you become like this rage lord. But again, you have to understand engagement optimized matchmaking wants this to happen. Because when this happens, high emotions occur, and high emotions are addictive. So the only realistic way is to quit the game. That's it. There's no other way to do it. Because then, if you're wondering where I get a lot of my theories from, some of them come from academic, some of them come from Brian Tracy, like people like Brian Tracy, for example. I'm a big fan of him. So he has a concept that is his concept actually. This tree trunk. Blame is the middle, and lack of control is the roots, right? So what you do is you have to cut the trunk like this. That's why he says, never complain, never explain. I am responsible. Never complain, never explain. I'm responsible. So based on that, you can say, okay, what am I responsible for? I am not responsible for being able to win the team fight when everyone crowd controls me. Every single ultimate, every single summoner is being used on me. At that point, you've done your job because you absorbed all the. You're effectively a tank at this stage. Like you're just being aggro, right? But you have no control over your teammates. So as a result, because you are agreeing to be in an environment where you have no control over the outcome, that is your fault. So you can say, okay, so what can I do to change that? The only logical thing to do is to either play one-on-one, switch the game, play with your friends, right, who you know that are reliable. Outside of that, there is no way to do it. You cannot force engagement optimized matchmaking to help you because it's not designed to do that. It's not designed to balance the matches. It's not designed to create fairness. It's designed to get you addicted to the game, and it needs to create emotions. And emotions of anger, frustration, flaming, blaming, a high emotions. And it wants you to do that. It wants you to be in that state. Because this increases the odds of you clicking on playing again. Right? Because you just get addicted to misery, and that's it. Right? So the only real way to do it is to quit. Like there's really no other way to do it. Either play one-on-one, play with your friends, or quit the game, or play something where you can legitimately 1v5, like a shooting game, for example. And I will leave it in the description below, but he says, I'm responsible, but realistically, yeah, Goals is actually a very good book by Brian Tracy, you can read it. But what he realistically says, he says, never complain, never explain, I am responsible. And then you have to think in terms of, okay, what are the controllable, what are the uncontrollable? So controllables is how you behave in the match, and whether you play the game or not. That's also controllable. Now, the uncontrollable are who your teammates are, who the enemy team is, and how they all behave. and what they build, right? So realistically speaking, most of the stuff in this environment, League of Legends, you just don't control it, and as a result, you simply cannot play the game, and that's it, right? It's not the type of game where you can 1v5. So if it's the case where you simply have no control over the outcome, you are at the mercy of the algorithm. I know some people say, oh, 80% win rate. The problem is still fundamentally you don't feel that you have control, because I can tell you 100% certainty I can go in and I can win 10 out of 10 in one-on-one games. 100% certainty. I've done it multiple times. I won 50 in a row. My highest win streak was 1,577 games. So you see, you don't hear me like flame one or talk about disbalance this, disbalance that, because there is always a way to get the control back and understand how to outplay some matchups I just couldn't win. Aurelia was one of them. Renekton was one of them. Gragas was another one. Seth was another one. Darius was another one. Kiana, to a certain extent, in the beginning was another. Rengar was another one. But I figured out how to do, right? I watched their replays. I read their abilities. I understood their weaknesses, right? So you don't see me being frustrated or angry, right? But I don't know how do I, like, one sec. So I showed this video. Look, this player just kills my entire team alone, and it's not like he's playing well. He's just running at them and pressing buttons. Do you see, like you do not control what these players do. And since I don't want them to be on my team, the only way to guarantee that I can do something is to play one-on-one, because then they're gonna be against me, and then I can just do whatever the hell I want with them. Because I played against these guys, and it's gonna be 7-second game approximately, because they don't know what they're doing, and they're gonna miss all of their abilities. They probably have a wrong starting item, wrong runes. They probably never played the champion, and you just, like, in 7 seconds you can just, like, decimate the guy, right? And then what do you do? Like, most of the time they then come back again to play against you. You're gonna counter pick. You're gonna kill him again in like 10 seconds, because he doesn't know what he's doing. And then, like, you also have control. If he keeps annoying you, keeps coming back, and picks, like, starts trolling, because I've seen people, they pick like Nunu and they start running at you, you can just ban him out of the lobby, and that's it. Okay? So I will probably write it down in the description below. Never complain, never explain. You are responsible. And just remember, you cannot not flame people, because fundamentally it's unhealthy. Like, it's unhealthy. If you see a person who has no opinion, he's not flaming, right? I don't know, it's a very, very counter. It's not how humans are wired. It's just not how they're wired, right? So, and again, I will stress this again, like, there is really no way. The only way is just to quit. There's just no other way to do it. I don't know how to explain it further, because, like, I already explained it a bazillion times why you should quit, because algorithm doesn't care about fairness. It wants you to be addicted. And based on that, there is really, as soon as you click this button, you are signing up to become an addict. That's it. You're not signing up to become a good player, you're signing up to become an addict. And that's it. Okay? So, again, never explain, never complain, never explain. I am responsible. Take care.